Okay, what's up, guys? Real Madrid reviews. Myself, Solly, back at it. And today, Steph was meant to be joining me today, but unfortunately couldn't make it. So it's just me for this live. And yeah, just talking about now Getafe versus Real Madrid. And I'll give you guys a summary of what I thought how the game went. And then also speak about the starting lineup as well. Xavi surprising us and making some changes to the game. And then also the last 10 minutes, which were crazy, that got Real Madrid the win, a much needed win on this game, right? Because Barcelona won late against Girona, and then Madrid needed to win this game. A draw was not enough, and they got that 1-0 victory leading into El Clasico next week. And yeah, so I think let's start with the starting lineup, and then we'll move from there. And then, yeah, if you guys are live, then yeah, make some comments and let me know what you guys thought of the game and everything. All right, so starting off with the lineup. So Xabi Alonso made some surprises this season, this game. And 1 second. All right, here we go. Yeah, so Xabi Alonso made some changes this game, starting with Rodrigo up front, which many of us did not see coming. Myself, I did not. So Rodrigo up front, Mbappe was fit enough to play. Some people thought that he might not be fit this game, but he managed to come in. And Massantuono, also same thing, a little bit iffy about his fitness, but he got the game today. And showing you once again that in this setup, Massantuono is very important because the balance, once again, he brings that front line, right? So Vinicius on the bench, and then we had Massantuono on the right, Rodrigo on the left, Mbappe up front. And then I think a lot of us thought that Bellingham was going to start this game, and he did. But we didn't expect that this would mean that Goulet would actually go on the bench, right? So Arda Güler was on the bench, whether he was being rested for the Juventus game and El Clasico, we'll see. Because when Güler came on, once again, he showed you how pivotal he is to this Real Madrid team and how pivotal he is just behind Mbappe. So to get the best out of Madrid this season, this current team, you need Mbappe and then you need Güler just behind him. Because without Güler in this team, Madrid continue to struggle to break down teams. On the transitional attacks, we are still dangerous, but in breaking down mid blocks and low blocks, we still struggle quite a bit. So to be able to have any success at this, we actually need Arda Güler on the pitch. And then Camavinga also got the start. So as we saw, Bellingham and Camavinga the last few games have been getting the minutes, and then now they're actually finally starting. So this might be, yes, I think that midfield is going to be really interesting for the Juventus game and the El Clasico, because, yeah, we need somebody partnering Tchouaméni in that middle of the park. Ceballos hadn't really done it, and then Tchouaméni and Valverde didn't work against Atletico Madrid. So we need to see, right? But yeah, so Camavinga again the start. Carreras on the left. We had Valverde starting at right back, and then we had Militao, and surprisingly as well, Alaba ahead of Asensio. So a lot of us thought that with Hausen being out, you'd actually have Asensio starting as that center back in that center back position. But it turned out to be Alaba, who, yeah, I think had a pretty much easy game in the back line because Getafe weren't really threatening our goal in the first half. A little bit in the second half, they kind of came out a little bit more aggressive and getting more chances and everything. But overall, I thought Getafe were a little bit passive throughout this game. And they were quite happy to let Madrid have the ball and giving Madrid the ball, giving Madrid the possession, but Madrid still struggled massively to break down Getafe. So this was starting 11, and first half, I think maybe the first few minutes, even though Getafe were defending okay. We still had some chances, especially on the left channel and in the central channel, close to, with Mbappe having some chances, Rodrigo finding him nicely. So it was a bit of a shame that we didn't actually score any of those half chances we had in the first half. But later on in the second half, I think Madrid kind of lost the game. They weren't able to control it, and Getafe were actually quite comfortable in that first half. And it came then into halftime, and you're like, yeah, Madrid struggling a game. The game was boring. Nobody was really stepping up. I didn't see enough from Bellingham in the game, and I just really needed more from the Madrid players, right? So halftime comes, and I actually thought that maybe he would make some substitutions at the halftime mark, Xabi Alonso, but he opted not to. But it was only Asensio that came on for Alaba. Whether that was an injury from Alaba, I'm not too sure. I didn't hear if it was, but anyway, Asensio came on. But once again, defensively, I don't think we were really tested because Getafe just weren't really threatening on the counterattack. So until like the final stages, when Courtois had to come out and say and put in a good save to make sure the game finishes 1-0. So it's crazy how Mbappe scores, and then a few minutes later, then Getafe have a chance to make it 1-1. Like, that cannot be happening. Madrid's defense has improved, but yet they let these opportunities go in. So that's just not being able to manage the game. But we'll come on to that a little bit later. So I think the second half, Getafe started off a lot better, and they were in control, and Madrid were still struggling. And I didn't really see anything coming from any of our players, any of our big guns. We had maybe some nice balls from Valverde from deep, from the defensive third, passing into Mbappe and everything. With Camavinga also making some nice through balls for Mbappe, more in the first half. But yeah, not really getting any luck. But then eventually Massanto Ono came off, and then who came off for Massanto Ono? Why am I blanking on this? Massanto Ono came on, and it was Vinicius Jr. who came on, I believe. So yeah, it was Vinny. So this is actually now the first time that we actually had Mbappe, Vinny, and Rodrigo in a long time. The first time in a long time that we've had those three up front. And it was interesting to see the dynamic. So Vinny going over to the left channel, hugging the touchline, causing trouble for the Getafe defense. And in the first half, actually, you had Mbappe and Rodrigo linking up nicely, but there was some moments where the link-up play could have been better. So there is a better connection between Rodrigo and Vinny, but it's not elite. It's not anything elite, right? And then Vinicius came on, so second half. So now you had Vinny on the left, and then you had Mbappe centrally, and then you had Rodrigo on the right position. So when Vinny came on, actually, we started to attack a lot more on the left channel, whereas like in the first half, what was happening is that we were actually attacking also quite effectively on the right channel. So I think it was maybe a little bit balanced between attacking the right and the left channels in the first half. And then now when Vinny came on, we actually started to attack a lot more on the left channel. And Vinny being dangerous, causing trouble. And then you had Mbappe now operating more centrally, but still not really like into the final third in the box where you would want him, but more a little bit dropping deep and everything. And I think even though Vinny came on, I was doing some nice stuff. I still feel Getafe actually had quite good control of the game. And so it was actually, if anything, it was actually a mistake from Getafe. So when Nyom, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, when Nyom came on, and he came on for Kiko, and within like the first minute, he gets like a red card, man. He gets like a red card, and he gives the game to Real Madrid, because I think if it was 11v11, unless it would have been a nice link-up play regardless from Arda Güler and Mbappe. I honestly don't think that Madrid would have been able to break them down. I think it would have probably ended like 0-0. But yeah, Nyom coming on and making that terrible mistake. Yeah, having his arm in Vinny's face and everything, which was just silly, honestly. So bring Getafe down to 10 men, and within a couple of minutes of Getafe being like 10 men down, one man down, we see a beautiful link-up play from Güler and Kylian Mbappe. And this is also interesting because when Güler came on and you had Güler, Bellingham, and Tchouaméni, you actually saw Güler dropping deep. So yeah, being that like double pivot in midfield. Okay. Yo, random guy, what is up? Mediocre performance, but important 3 points away. Learn and improve. Yeah, so true. Honestly, I think this game. Welcome, by the way, random guy. I think this game was just is one of those games. Yeah, playing against Getafe away, never easy. And then you also have us coming back from the international break as well. So these games are always going to be tough. But yeah, after the first half, I was like, I wasn't expecting anything spectacular from Madrid, but I just wanted them to get that goal, right? They left it a little bit late, but I just wanted them to get that goal and then just to win this game. So they won the game, which was very needed, and now we head into El Clasico. But I was just mentioning how when Güler came on in the second half, yeah, you had him partnering with Tchouaméni, so helping out in that pivot position, and then you had Bellingham more as an attacking midfielder, right behind Mbappe. But eventually, yeah, when Getafe got that red card, then you had now actually Güler pushing forward into those little pockets where we've seen him being dangerous, and then he was able now to link up with Kylian Mbappe. So I think this is really interesting because if we are going to have Bellingham and Güler on the same pitch, I still think it shouldn't compromise. We shouldn't compromise Güler's effectiveness just behind Kylian Mbappe, because that's where he's more lethal, and that's what we haven't seen so far this season from Bellingham when he is in those positions, like linking up well with Mbappe, or finding those like pockets and feeding our forward line, right? So yeah, Getafe pretty much like just gave this game to Madrid. Vinny is improving his dark art ability. Yeah, very true. So I think Vinny, honestly, for me, came on and I will give him man the match because he earned like 2 red cards for the Getafe players. And yeah, once again, without Getafe going down to 10 men, going down by 1 man, I don't think Madrid would have been getting that goal. I think it would have been a struggle. So Vinny coming on, playing the dark arts to his advantage. So now he's maybe actually learning, how to fire up other players instead of like the other way around. So he came on, he was causing trouble with Iglesias and Kiko and everything. So it was an interesting involvement from Vinny. So I think it came on honestly and affected the game. There was some nice passing that he was doing into the forward line, and then also him really staying on that left channel and just creating havoc and creating more space for other players in the central channel. So there was some nice little lob balls, some nice passing, and I think we're seeing now, like, for example, this game and then also the previous game against Villarreal, that Vinny, in terms of like decision making, has been spot on, but then also just the quality in terms of his passing. So it's not breaking up the Madrid's attack anymore, but it's actually helping our attack. So yeah, Getafe getting 2 red cards. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but it happened. But funny enough, like Getafe later on in that half, after Madrid has scored like 1-0, beautiful goal from Güler and Mbappe. Getafe created their best chance of the game, and Courtois had to come out and save us. So I think in that final stage, I don't know why Madrid was so open. Yeah, looking for that second goal, which is, yeah, you want it, but it's also a few minutes left until like the game is over. So I think that goal could have easily gone in, and it could have been actually an easy penalty as well. So I think Madrid managed the game not really the best towards the end when they got that goal. And then, but yeah, much needed win, an important win, and yeah, now on to Juventus in the Champions League, and then on to Barcelona. So I'm happy for Vinny. Teams like Getafe do so many dangerous off-ball tackles and get away. Vinny's giving them taste of their own recipe, tit for tat. Very, very true. Very, very true. So I hope for Vinny, like he just keeps on, he keeps this form up, because we just need him performing at his absolute best. And I think as well, Rodrigo coming in to this game, I think he had a good game. He was linking up well with Kylian Mbappe and the rest of the team, choosing when to dribble and then when to pass. So I think, yeah, now we just need those top players to be performing. So it's going to be an interesting game now against Barcelona, next game in La Liga. And I think we can go for the win. I think we should go for the win, and we can get the win. Barcelona are looking vulnerable. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, Juve and Barca and Liverpool. So yeah, I'm actually really curious now to see who is going to be starting against Juve and who's going to be starting against Barcelona, because yeah, with Goulet, like, is he going to be starting against Barcelona? I feel like, yeah, he was rested a little bit for this game, for the Juve and the Barcelona game, because yeah, we kind of know that Goulet's fitness is not really one of the best. So Goulet does play, but is he gonna play like in that attacking midfield position? Because that's where really like he's most lethal. Having him deep, yeah, I don't know about that. And having him on the wing, not sure about that either. So yeah, now we'll see if Bellingham starts. So I'm assuming we will see probably Bellingham starting against Juve, and then maybe from there we'll kind of decide whether he starts against Barcelona or not. But I do think that Bellingham, he's still not. Yeah, he's still getting back his match fitness, his sharpness. And yeah, I think maybe the Barcelona game might be a bit too much for him, because really I don't think he added that much to the game today. He made some nice runs which weren't found. And I think that was also another thing about the game, where Militao, for example, from deep, from the middle, from the defensive third, was doing some long passes, and he could have done more, because every time he was on the ball, you had Mbappe, you had or Massanto Ono trying to run off and receive that ball past the defense. So yeah, so what do you say about that midfield position? But I think the team that's going to start against Juve will probably also start against Barcelona. That's my thinking anyway. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. Final bits. I'm hoping for midfield three. We have to control these big games. Otherwise, we know what has happened for the last 1.5 years, 1.5 years. True. But the thing is, like, yeah, Madrid haven't so far. Yeah, they don't control midfield, man. Like, you know, they don't control midfield. It doesn't matter what partnerships we put in there. We don't control midfield enough. I thought Camavinga started off well in the first half, but yeah, maybe in the first like 20, 25 minutes, but then kind of dropped off. And yeah, I think we really do need to just get a little bit more from our midfield. But hey, it's a win. It's a win. All right, random guy. I'm gonna call it a day. So yeah, Madrid got the win, a much needed win, and then now we'll move on to Juve, which is another important game, and then we'll move on to El Clasico, where Madrid, I think, can get the win and then go 5 points ahead of Barcelona. So yes, we'll finish it off with Madrid. All right, see you guys on the next video.